Well, while it wasn't a full confirmation of a release date, this week Digimon card game did confirm that Digimon Alysion will definitely release in 2026. That does mean that it has been over a year since it was announced and 9 months since the closed beta, but the release and hope are in sight. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video, and yes, it looks like Digimon Alysion is finally on the horizon. This week, official Bandai Card Games channel did a video called Digicard Times, much like a smaller version of the Digimon Times presentation we've got to know. And the new producer of Digimon card game, Rui Lang, or Zei Lang in Japanese, was on board with a few familiar faces to deliver some cool news. First, they went over Ignition of X, hinting that December information for the Digimon card game was coming. So this is BT27, an X antibody themed pack, and we also of course have the Chivalrous 13 coming too, so these will all synergize. Got some cool art of Craniumon, Thundermon X Antibody, Knight Chiropmon, and Jumbo Gamimon. Knight Chiropmon is just straight up Batman. There's also EX14 Malevolent 7, which has illustrations featuring Leviamon and Lilithmon. But then the thing we're all waiting for, Digimon Alysion, and they opened out straight up by saying scheduled for official release in 2026, and it's very rare that Bandai gives a firm date unless they truly expect it to happen, though there of course have been some outliers. But they also confirmed that in December, Digimon Alysion Starter X will be coming out. Starter X featuring Rubiustramon and Yukinamon. If you didn't get to play or watch the closed beta of Alysion, Rubiustramon is the Mega or Level 6 for Gemmon, or at least one of them. There's potentially more going to be out in the full release of Alysion, and Yukinamon is the new Mega for Valna Dragnov's Renamon. Of course, digivolving from Sekamon and Tenkomon. Plus, there's also going to be cards for Kanata Hondo and Valna Dragnov, their tamers. Get a great look at Rubiustramon, of course we've already seen that in the closed beta, and Yukinamon. Plus, new illustrations for the card game for ST25 and ST26 of Liskmon and Tenkomon. Again, Liskmon being a Gemmon evolution, Tenkomon being a Renamon evolution. And that Rubiustramon and Yukinamon are planned to be included as dual cards, and of course the new dual card function is Digimon cards that also act as option cards. But we did get some more details from there outside of Digicard Times, from the official Digimon Alysion account, which said Digimon Alysion development update. The new smartphone online card game Digimon Alysion is planned for release in 2026. Now they did say smartphone here, and the website still makes it pretty clear that it is only going to be on mobile platforms. So unfortunately your hopes of a Steam or console release are still just dreams, though there are of course ways to play mobile games on a PC. We'll be sharing further updates on this account, so please stay tuned. Additionally, Starter Deck Digimon Alysion, Rubiustramon, and Yukinamon from the Digimon card game are planned for release in 2026. So that seems to cement it, right? Digimon Alysion is coming out in December alongside the starter decks. Or is it? I was thinking about this reading their statement again. The game has to release in 2026, so naturally December is the absolute latest it can be released if it doesn't get delayed into 2027. However, they don't ever say Digimon Alysion will launch alongside the starter decks, which could mean that the game comes out earlier than that. November, October, September, or something else I'll talk about in a minute. We do have to consider Bandai's release timeline. For example, Digimon Story Time Stranger is coming out on Switch 1 and Switch 2 in July, early July, and then it looks like Digimon Up is releasing in July on the 28th, approximately, though I'm really hoping they push that a little bit to Odaiba Day, or at least do an Odaiba Day banner. So that kind of makes July look unlikely for a release. However, if you think about the release of Digimon Story Time Stranger and Digimon Beat Break, that was like the same week, and they're two different products. I think it might be a little bit different in this instance though, because while Digimon Up and Digimon Alysion are not being developed by the same departments in Bandai, it's possible to me that I think they'd want to delay the release of Alysion to not be too close to Up, just to kind of avoid that, like, wait, which mobile game, what's happening, what does each of these do? Let Up be out for a little bit and then have Alysion. So personally, if Up is coming out on July 28, my belief is that Digimon Alysion would have to be out no earlier than the end of August, though of course this is Bandai Namco we're talking about, it could be something completely different. So I think a strong candidate is still December alongside the starter decks for Rubiustramon and Yukinamon, but I can't help feeling that because they didn't say that Alysion will also be out by then, when they could have, if it's planned for December, that is literally the very last month it could be coming out in 2026. Like, there is no 13th month, this isn't the Royal Knights. So if they were just saying, right, this is December, they would say that alongside the STs, but they didn't. And this kind of tracks actually with other products, right? Think about Digimon Beat Break. It's been out for a while before they announced like starter decks and BTs, etc. themed around it. Even Digimon Liberator didn't get full sets right away. It took a little bit just to roll up to it to get more dedicated Liberator stuff. So yeah, you probably would want Alysion out first. Now bear in mind, as we saw from the closed beta, Alysion isn't one-to-one with the current card game. It's likely that it will launch with more sets than the closed beta had. I think it went up to like BT4, but they also have Alysion related cards, and I think these are going to be exclusive for a little while. As we're seeing the art for Liskmon and Tenkomon, those aren't art we saw in the closed beta for Alysion. So it's my belief that this is sooner than December, or at least planned to be, but December is the absolute last month that can release without a delay. So personally, I think that September to November window is very likely, but I could see this as early as August. I think they're probably at the stage now where they're very confident they can release this game in 2026, but it really will just depend on how polished and how ready to go it is as to whether it's going to be very late 2026 or kind of like third quarter maybe, you know, like I say, August through to November. But either way, this is very positive news, and I know the wait has sucked, but listen, Kingdom Hearts fans, as I talked about the other day, I've been waiting way longer for KH4, and indeed, the mobile game we were supposed to get got cancelled. So at least Digimon Alysion didn't get cancelled. Naturally, we have 2 mobile games launching this year. Whether you like either, that's up to you. I honestly, as I've said before, would much rather they took that feedback from the closed beta and improved the game significantly. There was no way that they actually intended for this to be a 9-month plus or even full year from the closed beta, but they clearly took that feedback on board and took it very seriously, which is a really good sign, not only for launch, but for the support and ongoing events and support for the game. We also do know that we've got a few new characters in Alysion, and of course we have Koga from the closed beta, whose partner is a Herismon, so potentially with 2 starter decks focused on Rubius Dramon and Yukinomon, we might then see a BT for Alysion in early 2027, which might feature like Herismon, maybe a new evolution line for Herismon, and partners, etc. for the 2 new people we see in the background of the Alysion art. Towards the end of Digimon Liberator, we got an interesting panel showing some Digimon that could potentially line up with Digimon Alysion. Of course, we have Renamon on the left, the partner of Valna Dragnov. We have Herismon on the right, the partner of Koga. Terriermon Assistant, I don't really know, it's the overall mascot of Digimon right now. And the 2 Agumon variants, I mean, well, they're Agumon, but the 2 that stand out to me are Otamamon and Pillowmon, because it's not necessarily the best way to tell what kind of partner a character is going to get, but we do have a girl on the left with pink hair and a white t-shirt, and a boy on the right that's mostly blue with a little bit of yellow. I can absolutely see the boy getting Otamamon and the girl getting Pillowmon, blue Otamamon, pink and white Pillowmon. What supports this, in my opinion, is that if we look at Renamon's evolutions in Alysion, Tenkomon, Sekamon, and Yukinomon, they've got a quite similar coloration to the clothes that Valna Dragnov wears. Blues, whites, etc. And Koga and Herismon are also quite similarly colored. It's definitely a stretch, I will admit that, but given that we do have 2 Digimon that are gonna be in Alysion already on here and not Gemmon, because Shota hadn't even encountered Gemmon until the EX of the Digimon Liberator novel, it's certainly a theory that I'd like to keep in our hat, but definitely not a foregone conclusion. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below, has this rejuvenated your interest in Alysion, knowing it's at least definitely coming out this year? Hopefully, that's what they say. Or is it kind of too little too late for you? Thank you to my sovereigns, ZDK14 and Jeremy Babineau. If you'd like to join them or any of my other tiers for early access to videos, exclusive content from me, indeed if you're on a sovereign tier, I'll even follow you on social media and we'll play games together and stuff, we can have a call, or you can help me out here on YouTube by becoming a YouTube channel member, which also is an incredible support. Again, you get a lot of perks with that, and it supports the channel, especially with fluctuating ad rates. Appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.